Hello there, and welcome to the next episode of Do You Have To, where we explore some of the dogmatic rules and ideologies in fitness and exploring where there's fact, where there's fiction, and where there may be just some half-truths to it. Today's episode is kind of a twofer. We're looking at two kind of dietary strategies. One saying intermittent fasting is the way to go, and you should have limited feeding windows, and the other, which is the opposite side of the spectrum, where they're saying you've got to eat many small meals a day in order to build muscle or, quote, boost your metabolism. Now, I personally used to be big time in this camp, largely because I made the biggest rookie mistake of trainers of all time, where I thought whatever works for me, of course, is best for everybody. Because when I was in high school, I noticed that I would not eat anything until lunch. And by the time I got to lunch, I was just famished and I couldn't concentrate in the class before lunch. Then I'd eat everything I had in my lunch bag. And believe me, when I was in high school, I was exactly like Breakfast Club, where I had like a grocery bag full of sandwiches and tons of food. And I just gorged myself. And then the next class, I'd just be falling asleep again. So eventually I figured out, if I eat regularly throughout the day and kind of graze, my energy level goes up, my concentration goes up, everything's so much better. So naturally I thought, yeah, several small meals a day is the way to go. And then that whole trend came about because people were like, oh yeah, when you eat food, you boost your metabolism. And I'm like, makes sense to me. And I was recommending it to everyone. But of course, now we've got fasting, different fasting methods, and intermittent fasting and stuff is all the rage. And this is kind of a little bit of a myth that's going down the wayside. And I've tried this several times to disastrous results for myself. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Once again, just because it doesn't work for me, doesn't mean it's the best for you. So getting down to the real question, do you have to do either of these? And the answer for that is absolutely not, because fundamentally, neither of these are doing anything special, because ultimately, there's benefit to eating food. When you eat food, there's a cascade of positive things that can potentially be happening. And when you abstain from food, again, there's a cascade of positive things that can be potentially happening, depending on your circumstances, your goals, and where you're coming from. But don't feel like you have to do either of these, because like my experience, I feel great doing this, I feel terrible doing that. Don't let anybody like, well, the science clearly says, screw the science. Listen to your experience. My biggest barometer for a healthy diet is what is happening to your energy level. If you adopt either of these methods, or eating more or eating less, and you're finding your energy is all over the place, or it's really cratering and you're struggling through workouts and stuff, that's probably not a viable dietary strategy for you. Healthy diets should be enhancing your overall energy throughout the day, give you mental clarity, mental energy, physical energy, and whatever diet strategy gets you there is probably going to be the one that's best for you. So don't feel like you should force feed or force restrict yourself if it's completely unnecessary, which it is. And as always, if you want to leave further questions for do you have to really follow whatever rules in our fitness culture, leave those down below and I'll address those in future videos. Thank you very much for watching. Be fit and live free.